For the 18th. I hope you're having a great Thanksgiving season, and today I want to talk about a very important topic for anyone who is having any particular credit problems with the credit report, and particularly for identity theft victims. And that is the difference between a fraud alert and a security freeze, and when you use fraud alerts and when you use security freezes. So let me basically tell you, first of all, what the things are. A fraud alert is what happens is you go to the credit bureau. And with fraud alerts and security freezes, you're dealing with the credit bureaus. You are not dealing with a creditor. You can't go to your home mortgage company or to Visa Bank or something like that and say, place a fraud alert on my credit report. This has to be done with the credit bureaus, and all the credit bureaus will have online buttons and directions and things like that for placing fraud alerts. Now, what a fraud alert is that you will provide the credit bureau with a telephone number and obviously also your personal identifying information. The telephone number will go onto your credit report, and then a creditor, someone pulling your credit report, is supposed to call you and is supposed to verify that you are indeed the person who's applying for the credit as opposed to an identity thief. That is basically what a fraud alert is. It's placing your personal telephone number on your credit report. Now, the key thing to know about fraud alerts is that Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, they tell you that they will give you a fraud alert on your file, but the initial or the basic fraud alert, the one that they will give you, is only 90 days long, and they don't always tell you that. There is something that all three credit bureaus have. It's called an extended fraud alert. That goes for 7 years. If you are really in a situation where you believe you are an identity theft victim, or you might be, you need an extended fraud alert. Don't go for the 90 days. There was an identity theft ring in Kansas City a few years ago that would steal people's identity, and they would wait 100 days knowing that if anyone placed a fraud alert on their credit report, that the fraud alert would come off after 90 days, and they'd be able to run up the credit and do things that identity thieves do. So bear in mind that the basic fraud alert that they offer you at the credit bureaus is only 90 days long. The extended fraud alert, the credit bureaus will not tell you about the extended fraud alert, and the reason that they won't tell you about the extended fraud alert is because they want to sell you their identity theft monitoring package, which costs $20 or $30 a month, which has some value. But as a practical matter, if you understand how to manage your credit and how to manage your credit report, you don't need to be spending that money with Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. If you have an extended fraud alert, a 7-year fraud alert on your credit report, you probably are not going to need their $30 or $50 a month, identity theft monitoring package that they're going to try to sell you. So, if you are in a situation where you need to get a fraud alert, you need to get a 7-year fraud alert or an extended fraud alert. You have to dig a little bit deeper into the websites, and you're probably going to have to call the customer service number. But you want to get the extended fraud alert on your credit report if you think that you might be an identity theft victim. Now, the next step, the more drastic step, if you're an identity theft victim, if you know you're an identity theft victim, and if you have a serious identity theft situation going on, you need what is called a security freeze. Sometimes the credit bureaus will tell you to go get a different social security number. Don't. Believe me, that is just going down into the rabbit hole of a nightmare that you don't want to go down into. What you need instead is what's called a security freeze. Now, what a security freeze is that the credit bureau will actually issue to you a password, which basically unlocks your credit report. Your credit report is locked up and not accessible unless you call the credit bureaus and you unlock your credit report so that a creditor can access it. So for all intents and purposes, you go through life and your credit report is locked up. It's like it's in a safe. You decide you have to apply for credit, you want to buy a car, you want to apply for a home mortgage. You have to call the credit bureau and you have to unlock your credit report so the creditors for a certain period of time can access your credit report. That is how a security freeze works. Now, you would imagine that they could administer security freezes very easily, that it wouldn't be that complicated of a process. Unfortunately, not true. Sometimes it takes several days, sometimes even several weeks to unlock your credit report. Sometimes creditors cannot access it even after you've unlocked it. Sometimes it takes a long time to lock it back up. Why do you think it's inefficient? I think you've already guessed the answer. It's because they want to sell you their $20 or $30 a month identity theft monitoring package that the credit bureaus are selling, are basically marketing right now to try to get everyone paying more and more money to the credit bureaus. Not a fair system. But you really don't need their identity theft monitoring package if you understand how to use fraud alerts and how to use security freezes. So anyway, I hope you're going to have a great Thanksgiving. I hope that this video has been helpful and informative to you. And please call us if you have an identity theft or wrongful credit damage situation going on, or if you have a question. And thanks very much.